Thank you. So she's right. You know, we need to protect our identities, and more, we are connecting everything we have to the internet. We have, you know, how many of you have a health device, like a Fitbit or something that's counting your, okay? That's connected, it sends data, right? So we're gonna talk about some of the vulnerabilities that, that are inherent with, as we are becoming more and more connected. So, identity theft and fraud. How do we promote criminal activity online? We're going to talk about what we need to protect. We're going to talk about authentication, social engineering, some of the different threats out there, things like visual hacking, and of course the Internet of Things. So what do we need to protect? Who are we protecting ourselves from? Hackers, right? And hackers can be what? Anything, anybody. They can be foreign governments. They can be some kid in their basement. The big thing that you need to protect is any and all information, because the goal is to put that information together to form intel. So you may not have all of your information on Facebook, but you have it on your work website, or you have this much information on LinkedIn, you have this much information on Twitter, this much information on Facebook. If someone links those accounts, they've got a pretty complete picture of what you've got out there. So you want to make sure that you are paying attention to your whole identity and how much of your identity is out there. So authentication, there's 3 ways to authenticate, okay? The password field on your web browser, the password field on your computer, that's the lock. So your password is the key. What else can we use as a key when we're talking about, I mean, not physical, but when you're talking about information technology? Thumbprint, right? You got the thumbprint scanners, voice recognition, facial recognition. So that's what is known as being something, okay? Only you have that thumbprint. Only you have that face, that retina scan. So that's being something. Knowing something is what we talked about just a second ago with the password, PINs, mother's maiden name. Having something is like a USB dongle, okay? Has anybody ever used one of these to log in? Or another multi-factor authentication here at Armstrong. How many of us have multi-factor authentication? All right, that's more than I thought. Good. So you have to have your phone to log in, okay? So you have to know something and you have to have something. So that's a good way to look at it. When you're looking at your bank accounts, when you're looking at Amazon, when you're looking at Facebook, these services have multi-factor authentication. You don't want to make it just 2 things that are known, because knowing something is something that can be guessed. So I had a young lady tell me the other day that her password was the same on every website, and it wasn't her birthday and it wasn't her kid's birthday. And I said, "Is it your mom's birthday?" And she said, "Well, crap." So, I mean, you know, these things can be guessed, and that was just, you know, a little bit of talking. They've got programs that can run these things. So you can put in just key information. The more key information you put in, the faster they crack your password. And then one of the things, your password, your authentication online, you are nothing more than that information. So I can be Cliff Kennedy online if I have his username and his password, because that's all it's going to say. So what kind of threat does his account give me? What kind of threat does the authentication piece, him having a compromised authentication, what does that give me? How many of you verify with your bank through email, right? You try to log in, you don't remember your password, so you click forget my password, it sends you an email. Well, if I've got access to your email account, then I may as well have access to all your bank accounts, all your credit cards, all of that. So again, when you're thinking about protecting these things, you want to make sure that your passwords are complex. And even though it's just your Gmail account, if you've got your bank set up to your Gmail account, put multi-factor authentication on there. The same stuff that works here at Armstrong works at your personal. How many of you have personal authentication or multi-factor authentication on any other websites? All right, good. Again, the big key with all of this, because we'll talk about some more scary things. The big key thing with all of it is you don't have to be faster than the hackers. This is what they do all day long. You've got to be faster than the person next to you. And I'm sitting back and I'm writing a little script, and I'm gonna cast a net and it's gonna hit 1,000 people. If it catches 30, how many bank accounts is 30 bank accounts? I mean, that's probably enough money for me to get by for a month or till tomorrow or whatever, you know? So remember that. You don't have to have the top of the line defense. You don't have to be, get the military in. Just do as many things as you can to not inconvenience yourself, but to add a layer of protection. Social media, we talked about the information out there and the information being used as intel. How many of you post where you are on social media? You checking in at an event? Yeah? Yeah? Checking in at an event, or you're taking pictures. How many of you have done Facebook Live? That is awesome. Yeah, I called my ex-wife and said, hey, I think I just saw you downtown on somebody's Facebook Live. Not yours, but you may want to watch that. So social media, the use is up, so therefore the risk is up. Facebook has 1.59 billion monthly active users. That's active users. That's not the generic users that are out there that or people that logged on once and don't log on again. That's active users. So if I've got a pool that big, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to start targeting Facebook. Twitter. 347 tweets, 347,000 tweets are tweeted out per minute. 4.1 million Facebook likes, 1.7 million Instagram likes. These aren't all of the sites. These things are constantly out there. We use them all, and they're filled with malware, they're filled with scams, they're filled with anything that they can do to socially engineer you, socially engineer your information. Now, who knows what social engineering is? Okay, a couple people. Social engineering is basically asking you questions to get that information, because that's what the target is the information, right? I mean, maybe they want your money, or maybe they want your critical research. Maybe they want, control of the government, if you watch the movies. But the target, the way they get that is to get the information. Get the information, use it against you. So the threats commonly found on social media, clickjacking scams. Clickjacking scam is you go to click something that seems legitimate, but you're actually clicking something that's not. How many of you have been to a website where there's a thumb that looks like the Facebook thumb and you've clicked it? Or a pin for Pinterest? No. If you haven't seen it, you will see it because they're out there. But you don't know where. Facebook didn't officially license every page that's got those. So you don't know really what you're clicking. You want to make sure that you pay attention. If there's something to like, go to Facebook and like it. You don't have to like it from inside the application or inside the web page. Go to Facebook and like it. Bot activity. I'm sure we've all been a victim of this, where you've had a somebody randomly like you and send some information, and they're not talking to you like they're a human being? Yes? They ask you a question and you answer it kind of weird because that's just how you are? Am I the only one? Okay. So you answer that in a different way, and then they come back and say something that makes no sense. It's probably because it's a pre-programmed script and it's just a bot. Cyber espionage, that's more of your critical research. That's more for a business. If you've got a small business, if you've got research that's yours, and I want to know about it, I'm your competitor, I'm going to go to your Facebook page. Not to do anything bad. I just want to see what you're doing. I want to see what you're excited about. I want to stay ahead of you. So cyber espionage is a big one. And Facebook pages that are fake. They're considered fly traps. Right here we've got an actual one that was used in an attack. Delta Air. Share this, say thank you, like our page, sign up button, and you'll get tickets to wherever. 950 first-class seats. Delta, you want the first-class seats. So this looks legitimate to some people. I mean, it looks like, but you can go and sign up right now as Delta Air, and Facebook will register you. They won't take it away until later. So again, watch what it is that you're clicking. If it sounds like it's too good to be true, it probably is. Bill Gates is not sending you any of his money. I promise. So the one incident we were talking about happened in Los Angeles, California, Hollywood Presbyterian Medical Center. They had all their critical research, all of their stuff. Somebody in their somebody in the hospital, a member of the hospital, clicked on a file or clicked on a Facebook page. It then started to lock down all of the files. Eventually, all of their research, patient health information, what else? Their financial documents, all were locked up with CryptoLocker. How many of you are familiar with crypto ransomware? Hopefully it's just you heard about it and you haven't fallen victim to it. But this hospital, the hackers asked for 9,000 Bitcoins. How many people know the exchange rate on a Bitcoin? It changes all the time, but that's a lot of money. And for them, it totaled up to $3.6 million. They had to release it. That's the only way they were going to get that information back. So, so talking about ransomware, this place, along with all of the others throughout the world, over the past 12 months, had antivirus. Antivirus, ransomware has had a 100% fail rate. So antivirus does not stop you from ransomware. 95% of the organizations hit by ransomware had firewalls. 77, email filtering. 52% anti-malware. And only 33% of them had security awareness training. So again, coming here and checking a box, and this isn't security awareness training, this is just a talk, but everybody has had the CBTs that you go through, and you sign the drug policy and you sign this stuff every year. When you're not paying attention to this stuff, it can affect not only you, but it can affect your organization. It can affect if you're a student, it can affect if you're a faculty member, it can affect if you're a staff member. When you're logging into someone's network, you are putting that entity at risk. So that's all the technology stuff. That's all the, let me buy something to protect myself, or let me pay attention, let me not click anything. But what are we doing as far as visual hacking? Visual hacking is what you would refer to in a James Bond movie as spying, okay? Somebody walks in, they look like they're supposed to be there, they act like they're supposed to be there, and nobody questions them. There was a company out of Minnesota, 3M, that did a global visual hacking experiment. And they went and did a visual hacking of 46 companies. The 46 companies were the hackers for these 46 companies went in and they're given 3 tasks: to walk through an office scouting for information, to take a stack of confidential documents, and to use a smartphone to take pictures of confidential information. How many of you think that somebody could do that here? Yeah. In these 46 companies, they were 91% effective. 613 pieces of content, including login credentials, financial information, and other confidential information, were compromised. 27% were considered damaging, like highly damaging to the organizations. So 27%. And over half of these hacks were completed in 15 minutes. 15 minutes. You left your computer open. You left your password book out. Or you don't even have a password book because you've got it posted on your monitor, right? Or it's under your keyboard. Or, you know, a lot of people know these places, and it's very easy to walk through and find this stuff. So again, 46 different companies all had the same problem. It kind of brings us to, back to the technology part of it in the Internet of Things. How many of you have heard IoT, Internet of Things? Okay, it's your smart refrigerator, it's your smart car, it's your smart TV. It is all of the things that are smart, but guess what they're not smart about? Security, because as of yet, they haven't really been hacked. When you've got devices on your network, they are windows, they're doors into the rest of your information. So if you're at home and you feel like you've got a pretty good password and everything else, and you've got your antivirus and your anti-malware and everything's up to date on your computer, but you also have your Nest plugged up to it, what information is being sent back and forth across the Nest? I mean, you can't really control it. It's pre-programmed. What kind of information is being, I just heard today about crock pots that were being hacked. Yeah, I mean, it sounds like a great idea. You set all the food up, and then, you turn your crock pot on at lunchtime, and when you get home, you've got your food. Well, again, maybe there's not a huge threat by that right now. But the fact is that we're becoming more and more connected. Water pressure gauges, temperature, fire suppression systems. All of these things are going online, and none of them have security inherently built in. That comes on the network team and the systems team and the guys behind the scenes at organizations. How many of you have those people at home? There's the IT people. There you go. So I don't have those people at home. I mean, my kids like to think that they are, and they're usually more of the threat. But your Xboxes, your PlayStations, all of that stuff, anything you're connected to the network, anything you're connected to the internet, it's to make your life easier. It's to make your life more convenient. But with that convenience and with that ease of getting things interconnected and getting things done comes that risk of how many things coming down. So what do you think we can do about keeping your Nest protected from your bank account? What do you think you can do about keeping you personally? What can you do about keeping your work and business separated? Or your business and social? Does anybody know? Different accounts. Different email accounts. Okay? You've got, I've got fred.brown@comcast.net, and that sounds official, so that's what I use my banking and everything. Banking, if I'm talking to a lawyer, I'm talking to, applying for a job, whatever. That's all kept over there, and everything's reduced down. For my Facebook, it's agentbrown003@gmail.com, right? Because it sounds, I don't know, it sounded cool when I made it. So that's tied to Twitter, it's tied to Facebook, it's tied to all of that. And neither one of those accounts is tied to fred.brown@armstrong.edu, because that's work-related things. I change my passwords more frequently on fred.brown@comcast.net. I make my passwords longer. I make sure that I have multi-factor authentication on that account especially. So you can kind of treat them in the order that you wish to treat them. If you want to put everything on one, like I said, the more interconnected you are, the more vulnerable you are. At home, we actually set up a mobile device network. So you have mobile, we'll call it, I can't say what it is, we'll call it Brown's home, right? Fred's house, mobile, and Fred's house. So Fred's house mobile, anything that can't have a password, can't do any of that stuff, that's on Fred's house mobile. So if you take out my Nest, you'll take out the Nest Protect, you'll take out the front door locks and everything else, which is all important, but you're not getting any bank information from it. Right now, through the Internet of Things, they are predicting within the next 3 months that all of these devices are going to be used for a massive DDoS attack. That's the rumors that are going around in the hacker underground. So target unknown, but these things, how do you stop it? We don't even know how they've exploited it. So again, think about these things. Think about what you've got tied in to all of your different accounts. Because all of that's what makes up your identification. All of that is what makes you who you are in the digital world. The days of going up and meeting people and shaking hands, are few and far between. They are no more. Everything's having to be done online, and even when you go to places, you physically go to places, what's the first thing most places do? They tell you to go over to the computer. Go over to the computer and sign in, put all your information in the computer over here. And you're now trusting your information on their system. So, that's a little off, but here at Armstrong, if you're not from Armstrong, and you're part of a different organization, know when to call your information department, okay? Know what to report. Any questions, concerns, or general comments here at Armstrong are welcome. If you've got a security idea, you come to me and say, hey, I think, we put students' 907 numbers in here. Is that a bad thing? Maybe it is, maybe it's not. But I'm glad you brought it up. So now we can start having the conversation. Because from an IT perspective, we can look at the technology, but we don't know the business process. We don't know what you're doing with the technology. So if you have any of those, bring it up. Report anything that seems suspicious. This goes to your banks too. If your bank sends you something, don't click it in the email. Go to the website and log in. USAA is bad about that. I don't know if anybody's got USAA. They send me messages all the time that say, click here to view your message. And I say, no thanks. I'm gonna go and log in, and then there should be a message in my inbox. If your screen's flickering, if your programs are running abnormally, your computer may be compromised. It may be worth it to go ahead and run that scan, run an anti-malware scan. There's plenty of free things out there. How many of you know that when you go to Google or Yahoo or Bing or Go.go, any of them, when you search, like the top 5 searches are sponsored ads? You know, and you may only buy 2 hours of it, and I buy 2 hours of Amazon.com, and it's really Fred'sAmazon.com, and you go on and try to order something that looks just like Amazon, you put in your card information, and now I've got that to do with what I want. So always make sure you know what you're clicking, even from a trusted site like Google, even from a trusted site like Yahoo, if you all trust those. And this is a key one. It's better late than never. A lot of people, they click something and they say, oh man, I shouldn't have clicked that. Let me try to fix it. And then as they try to fix it, it just goes and goes and goes, and then it's over. I mean, same thing happened at Hollywood Presbyterian. The person knew that they had done something wrong, but they didn't want to report it because they didn't want to get in trouble. And now, you know, Hollywood Presbyterian had to pay $3.6 million to, you know, unknown hackers so that they could get their research back. So again, maybe a slap on the wrist or some computer-based training. You know, you got to sit in. I don't know what places do, but I know in the Air Force they always told us to report it. You know, be honest, because as soon as you try to cover it up, you may as well have done it on purpose. So, where can you report it? How many of you seen the Tech Hub? Yes, this is a shameless plug for the Tech Hub. Tech Hub's awesome. It's downstairs at the MCC, first floor. They've got the cool desk and the cool guys with the t-shirts. They're not like us. They're the cool people. Okay, they'll help you with personal devices. They'll help you with the accounts that you have here at Armstrong. They'll help you with general knowledge for IT services across the board. So go check them out, and then you can always call the help desk as well. Are there any questions? No questions. Everybody? Oh, I'm sorry.
You said the ransomware 100% fail rate for basic protection, for basic firewalls and whatever. So how do you protect yourself from things like that?
If you noticed, only 33% of the organizations that were attacked had a security awareness training program. One of the things, I mean, so that means out of the 100% that were attacked, you had 67% that had no security awareness training. It basically boils down to the end users. Your IT department can buy solutions. That was another thing that I didn't put up there. These organizations that were attacked, the first thing they did was invest more money in either an alternate solution that was also failing or redundant solution. So I'm going to buy something even better for this firewall. Now I've got the firewall, I'm going to buy some email filtering as well. You can't go out a lot of times and buy solutions, because when you buy it, you know, when they pitch it to you, it's something that they've came up with and then marketed, and by the time they get it to you, the little 14-year-old hacker over in New Zealand, he's already, 10 steps ahead of that. So again, it's that awareness, and a lot of it is just thinking twice before you click. A lot of it is thinking twice, just like if you get a phone call and someone asks you for your social security number. You know, if it's the fake IRS that's been calling, if it's the fake IT people calling to ask about your printer, the fake IT accounts that are sending emails out saying copier at armstrong.edu. Anybody got that? I got that, and I was like, wow, some copiers sending me stuff. That's cool. Again, this information is out there. The more you learn, the more responsibility you take on yourselves, the more protected the organization is as a whole, and the more protected you are at home. But that's how, I mean, these were organizations that were attacked. I could tell you that the average price right now is between $7,000, $7,500 and $300 for crypto ransomware. So obviously the $300 ones, that's us, right? Because they're not going to come in and assume that we make tons of money and we can just fork it out. But if you see it $300, maybe they'll give you half off, $150. That's still $150 for basically, you know, a $150 mistake clicking on something that you shouldn't have. So, but to combat it, and the reason that a lot of organizations haven't been shut down is doing backups. So basically, and it's one of the things we do here at Armstrong. We back up our systems. So if you click something today and lock the whole university out, basically, we just back it up to Wednesday. So now anything that happened on Thursday is gone, but at least we don't have to go back too far. We got Wednesday right here. So that's how people keep up business continuity.
Do you have a recommendation for how to keep track of all your logins and passwords?
Yes, actually. We've got, we recommend here, keep LastPass. LastPass. It's a password management solution. So you can put all the websites that you need passwords in, you know, all of the websites that you need passwords for in there with the usernames. Everything's in one place. And then you have a password to get into that one place. Now people say, well, aren't you putting all of your eggs in one basket? But that's what these things are. That's the specific purpose of these programs. 1Password, I don't know if anybody's familiar with that on Apple. I know for a couple months it was like one of the top apps that they suggested. KeePass is another one. And a lot of these things are free. You don't have to go out and pay a whole lot of money. But again, research it. If something sounds too good to be true, you know, it probably is. So maybe it's worth paying the 99 cents to get that app to, you know, for that peace of mind and that, you know, but read the reviews. Read the reviews and see if they're 5 stars, then they make sense. Or if they have 5 stars and they just wrote a bunch of stuff. Oh.
Somebody else got a question?
Yes.
How would you recommend preventing visual hacking?
Visual hacking is an easiest one to prevent. Don't write your passwords down. Don't lock up your computer. How many of you use Windows here at Armstrong? Did you know there's a keyboard shortcut? I remind somebody every day. Put Windows L, the Windows key, L, it locks your computer right up. So when you get up to walk away, Windows L. And once you get in the habit of it, it becomes second nature for some people. And some people need a constant reminder. We're not going to point at some people.
Yeah, I think it happened a couple of days ago. I was going through all the emails and there was a particular person who had posted something to Facebook, just a friend.
Mm-hmm.
So I opened it up and clicked on the view, and there was a link on the right-hand side for Donald Trump. The picture of him, he was laying on the ground. It said something about being dead. And I clicked on it, and this big red screen comes up, and it says, this is a Trojan virus or something called Microsoft and such and such. So I did not do anything. I shut the computer off, but every time I turned it back on and got onto the internet, that's
Yes.
what popped up.
Yes, so your computer is infected.
But we ran, I think we have a McAfee virus, antivirus, and my husband ran a complete scan, and it said nothing was there.
Right, and that's what they do. They know the signatures that are out there. I don't know when the last time you had it updated, but being that virus is already on your computer, it's controlling all access to the internet. So even if McAfee, your McAfee client said, "Oh, I'm going to go out and update," it's going to update from wherever this fake site. They're going to send even more stuff down. So what you want to do is probably, is it your personal computer or work? Okay, so you can bring it into the Tech Hub. You work here at Armstrong?
No.
Okay. You can also take it up to Best Buy. They're going to charge. So,
Take it to work. He works for the Army.
okay. So, but you do, don't put any more information on there because that's what they do. That shock factor. You're like, oh my gosh, what happened? You click and it's too late. So, yeah, that's good. And
So what would those if I called that phone number, that would have been?
it would have been somebody. They would have talked to you, and they, yeah,
Probably
And they would have
Yeah.
taken your credit card number.
yep.
Yeah, they would.
We could fix it for you.
They could fix it remotely for $19.95.
Yeah, my father-in-law in his 80s did that, and he got into all kinds of trouble with compromised credit card, and I just said, don't do that. Next time, call me. Across the street.
Yes. Yeah, and again, that's one of those where they cast the huge net, and whatever they catch is what they'll try to eat first. So if you can just stay out of that cast, then you just got to keep pushing forward, keep outrunning the person next to you. So
Does that person whose Facebook page it was, does she?
they probably need to check their account as well, and it may not have been their account. I got friend requested by my mom, and I thought that was kind of weird because I've been friends with my mom ever since they let my mom on Facebook. Right? So
Well, it used to be only.
that's what they, right? And they went on to her account and downloaded a couple of her pictures and her regular profile picture and all of the information that was made public, and they created an account saying she was Claudia Brown. And there's nothing out there to stop it. What you have to do every time you see it is report it.
I actually reported for a friend, I got a same thing, friend request, and I said, I'm already friends with her. So immediately I posted to her page, you've been hacked, change your password, reported the account, and found out within 10 minutes that someone was using that account to ask for money.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yes.
my report got it shut down quickly, so.
Yes, and that's perfect. And I actually had my Facebook reported because going through some personal stuff, I didn't want to be on Facebook anymore, so I deleted it. And then I decided I wanted to be on Facebook again a couple months later, so I reactivated it. I didn't reenact. I created a new one, sent the friend requests out, and people were like, "Delete." He's told me. This is the same guy who told me. So I'm still not friends with half of my family. So.
What is the best way to protect your Facebook? Because like mine, I've got it set up where you can't see any of my info unless you're on my friends list. I vet my friends that are on there, and I went through the other day and found a feature where it would go ahead and change the security settings on all my old posts before they started updating stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But what else can you do to be?
How many of you have smartphones? That's everybody. Don't tell me that you've got a smartphone. Okay. So a lot of times when you log in there, you're trying to play a game, what does it say? Log in with Facebook. You're linking that account. You're giving that app access to your Facebook. They've got the little question mark there, and a lot of times you can click and see what all access you're giving them. But they've got, Facebook has a security feature where you can go in, if you look up Facebook security or Facebook privacy, you can go in and see what apps have what access. And you can revoke it. Maybe you used to play Words with Friends, and now you don't. So you don't need it linked anymore. And if you've got, if you like a page, sometimes that, maybe your information's private, but once you like a page, people can see you, so they can start targeting you. They can see who your friends are. You know, hide your friends list. That's the biggest problem that Facebook has, is the sense of false comfort. Like, I don't know this person, but they're friends with everybody else at Armstrong, so they probably work there, right? I mean, I can't say that I haven't done it, but I like running into these people online because it's fun for me.
You can also look at your number of sessions you have open.
Yes.
On your devices. Just I go ahead and shut all mine down periodically.
Mm-hmm.
Just to make sure. And the other thing, to be honest, you don't want the world to see it, don't put it on Facebook. Yeah, there's no amount of anything.
Well, I don't have anything that's super sensitive on my Facebook, but like I post pictures of my nieces and my nephew and stuff like that to share with family and stuff that are approved to be on my list. Or, you know, you're talking about check-ins or whatever. I take a lot of trips and I like to post pictures and things, and everybody's like, don't post that, people are gonna know you're not home and break into your house. I'm like, but the only people that can see the information are the select few that I know.
Right, and all the people you've played Words with Friends with.
That's why I was.
You know, some applications like that, and I'm picking on Words with Friends. I mean, I know that they're a great, Candy Crush, all of those. I mean, again, you don't know how much access you've given them a lot of times because you click through because you're trying to play. But like she said, the worst thing that's going to happen if you kill those sessions is every device that you get into Facebook with, you're going to have to re-log in. That's not a bad thing every once in a while. It's even sometimes just as safe as a password change. Just kill all your sessions, and when you go back, log back in. How many of you would like a password tip? Yeah? Okay. So come up with a complex password. Come up with something, 8 characters, 10 characters, whatever it is. Memorize it, know it. You can even write it down. Yes, the security guy telling you can write your password down, okay? But then customize it to each page. So you've got those first 10 characters that are just a 3-year-old hitting on the keyboards. And then when you go to Facebook, you put Facebook on the end. Or you put capital F, lowercase b, or capital FB, or capital F book. Something that you'll remember. Amazon, same thing. Capitalize Amazon. You still got all your special characters, you've got your numbers, you've got the complexity on the front end. And then you just put Amazon on the back end. You can have a different password for every website you go to, and you're really not remembering much. And if you forget it, which I do all the time, you can go back and you can do the forgot password. That forces you to change your password. And a lot of times, I know on ADP, everybody checks ADP, right? What do they tell you? You can't use that password. You already used it. So, you know, it's a good thing. So that's one thing. Another thing that I do personally is security questions. Because my mom does like to overshare on Facebook and she does not know the security concerns, she knows them. I've actually given her a longer version of this presentation. And I'm not going to say her password, I should. It's something with the green eggs and ham guy. Real simple. And she's got her name, her maiden name, everything. So, and she's got that I'm her son. So if you're trying to get into my account and you see this, my mom, and you see her maiden name, what's one of the questions that they always ask? What's your mother's maiden name? So that's not really that secure anymore. So what I do, if you ask for a person, doesn't matter if it's your childhood friend, if it's your first grade teacher, your first love. Mine's always Tom Brady. That's not right, but I'm just saying. It's always the same thing. So I know that if it's asking for a person, it's this. If it's asking for a pet, it's this. It's chocolate. I've never had a pet named Chocolate, but I could put that in there. If it's something that you can remember, you don't have to answer the question correctly. You just have to know what you put as the answer. So, you know, where were you born? Fiji. Every time. It's a security question. That's another form of a password. So, again, a couple of tips that I use, and we had to come up with these things because the pilots, every time we upped the security requirements, they got more and more angry. So we had to tell them, like, hey, we can do this. It's okay. Breathe. So. Any other questions? Yes?
Would you have any opinion on setting up accounts with retail vendors, Amazon and Home Depot?
No, I think that if you protect that account, then, you know, with because Amazon has multi-factor authentication. If you protect that account and you know about it and you maintain it, then you're good. Don't create an account for H&M online for the Christmas season because you're going to get 10% off and then you're never going to go there again, right? Babies R Us for a wedding or a baby shower. And then you're never going to go there again because that account is out there and that information's out there and you're not even thinking about it. And 4 years down the road, Babies R Us got hacked. And you're like, oh, that sucks. Glad I don't have babies, right?
I'd suggest that if it asks you if you want to store your credit card information, that you don't do it. I know it's a pain to have to type it in every time. But.
Yeah, you don't have to do that. But even still, you know, the other information can still be used against you. So if you're gonna leave a site, even if you want the 10%, there's nothing to say that you can't go back and cancel that membership or that account or whatever. So, yes.
Quick question. So a few years ago, I bought a cheap laptop just to mitigate risk. I used that laptop for bank payments, bill pay, no web surfing, no email, just to make sure. But the last year or so, it's been pretty easy, convenient to use my phone. What's your take on the vulnerability in using a smartphone to get bank information or to store your credit card?
Because more people are going that way, it is becoming more vulnerable. The big thing is pay attention. If you've got an Android device, go to the website and check for those updates. Go on your smartphone and check for those updates. Don't worry about the cries, Apple messed it up for everybody, and probably Windows before that messed it up for everybody, because patches are scary, right? Because it could be that my phone doesn't work, and what in the world would I do if my phone didn't work? How would I get to work? Because I don't look. My phone tells me where to go as I'm texting, right? Because I punch in, go to work from home and home to work. And no, don't do that. That's illegal. So keep your software patched. I can't tell you how many times I go on, again, I'll throw my mom under the bus, go on her iPad and she's got 67 updates just from the Apple Store or the App Store. So her iOS is current, but none of her apps are. So each one of those things, security patches are huge. And if it breaks it, at least it's broken. I'd rather have an app broken on my phone than vulnerable.
Can't you just help mom out and have those push automatically?
Yes, if she kept it connected. And she used to teach computers. So she doesn't like I was doing computers when you were in diapers. Like, do they have them then? Yeah. Yep, that's actually where I learned a lot of stuff about how open networks were, was going to the college and sitting down and having fun. What are you doing? Get out of here. So, any other questions?
You were visual hacking before it became hot, right?
No. Well, I mean, sure.
Learning it.
That's a huge part of intelligence gathering in the Air Force, in the military in general. Put someone in country and let them blend in and walk around, and you know, they can just, sometimes they don't hear anything, but they can just sense a mood. Something changed. You know, look, you know, hey, I'm calling back. I don't know what it is, but something's changed. And you take a look at the southeast, whatever. So, I mean, that's, again, it's that information. More information you have, the bigger picture you've got. Anything else? No? All right.